And then you'll get to a point where you'll just start finding more and more of yourself, your true self. And before you know it, you are happy. You're just happy, man. You're in your flow. You got your art and you got everything you need. And you look over at him and he is like living his best life. And you don't need him to be anything other than what he is. And that's the problem, men and women. Women, especially, they need a man to be something. They need everything outside themselves to be something. Well, if you'll just do this, if you'll just do that, I'll be happy. And then a lot of women look at men for money. And I posted this in the free group. I'm like, women, make money. Step into your power. It frees our men. Because they're sitting there thinking they got all this stress on them. All this stress on them because they feel responsible for our happiness.
Yeah.
They feel like they got to go make the money. They're just like we are. Just because they have a dick does not mean they got to take care of us. Look how much pressure we're putting on them.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
This episode is actually a leaked video. We filmed this it was a one-on-one session for her business and turned into an intimate breakthrough, awakening, all of this amazing stuff. But she did not care if I shared it with you because I just feel like there's so many nuggets here in this session. So those of you that have a business, those of you that want a business, or maybe you don't, maybe you just are looking for this next level way of thinking or a different perception on things, I think you're going to enjoy it. So enjoy this session with VIP client Jeryn as we go over her new business. And don't forget to leave a review positive. I mean, if you're going to leave a fucking negative review, like, dear God, let's just keep moving. But share, and we appreciate you for listening. Talk to you soon.
The first question is more like on the energy, where I want to start coming at the business of like inspired action and going with the flow, and things will come in. Whereas my fiance is just a good old boy, and, his mentality is, working harder and more to get more. So if I'm doing things for the business from an inspired action point, can we still like receive, even if he's maybe not understanding that energy part of it?
Okay, number one, we don't need him to see or understand jack shit.
Okay.
Number two, if it was true that the harder you work, the more you make, teachers and cops and nurses would be like the highest paid individuals ever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's not true either. So yeah. What kind of business do you have?
So we do welding and fabrication.
Okay.
He builds stuff, makes stuff.
Can I see one of your signs?
Okay. So I make art and like signs. And he does a lot more like 4-wheel drive building, gates, fabrication of like roof racks, like bigger type building stuff. And then I do like the artsy side of it.
Okay, let me see.
Do
you need him to make your art?
No, not normally. Sometimes I do ask for his help, or like his kind of input on things, but for the most part.
So really it's your business. It's nothing to do with him.
For the signs, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the one you're wanting to grow?
Well, that's kind of where we're at is, I like doing the signs. But we're kind of at this point of like, okay, what can we do that's really going to make us the money that's consistent?
Okay.
And like, we're thinking about starting a YouTube channel because there's kind of other channels out there that do similar type of stuff to what he does, like with the 4-wheel drives and the vehicles and, building and stuff. So we want to do that too. This is like one sign that I
cool. How do you do that?
made. So I design it on a computer, and then we have a machine that like cuts it out of the steel.
How much does it sell for?
So that one I sold for $170.
Is it any special type of metal?
No, it's just like steel, like sheets of steel. A lot of it's custom. Like I like doing the custom stuff. That's the name of her business. And she showed me her business card and I kind of
Are you on
ran
Etsy?
with it. I was gonna say, let me pull up my
You on Etsy?
No. I was in the process of creating my Etsy store and I felt like I was trying to like I also do sometimes I've done a couple of like vendor events where I go and I set up a booth and I have my stuff there. But I really like doing the custom stuff. That's what I really like doing. The other like the Etsy and things like that is kind of like a
Well, it would be custom. You would just showcase your thing, and if they have just like when I make signs, like when I want a neon sign, I don't buy what they have. I look for a custom because I want Hotmomz.
okay. Okay.
So I mean, you can do.
So I felt like I was like trying to put things in the store that like I've made them and yes, I can make them again if somebody wants them. But those are like, this is kind of where I get stuck. Those are like, $35 signs where I could make a custom sign for, $150, $200.
You can do it on Etsy. Custom.
Okay.
Custom sign.
Okay.
Okay. Keep going.
We're on Instagram. So this is like a lot of the signs I've made and
the things, some
of the stuff that he does.
Some of the things that I may say also can be Casey's opinion. So
right.
You don't need to because I'm about to say it would be cool if you had a special type of metal. You think about women, right? Like, even if you're like, our metal is fabric is our, just something special.
Yeah.
People, if you want high ticket buyers, they like niche stuff. Why is yours different? Oh, that's cool, man. But like the metal, where is it from? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love this mermaid, like a lot. Then also it's like, how do you get into stores? Could you pitch this to local Tractor Supply?
Yeah, I feel like I could definitely pitch it to some local businesses. Yeah. There's one guy who he owns a printing press store or something like that in our town. And one of his friends had me make a sign for a gift for him and he liked it so much and he was like, tell her to come in and I'd be happy to like display her stuff for people to buy and like she can leave her cards and all that. And that's just something I never like went and did.
Yeah, it was like being in here in Laguna, that big metal piece we have in our stairway.
Mm-hmm.
That's thousands. Even Rachel, she came out, she's an artist and she was like, yeah, she does some pieces for 15,000, 30,000. Now, can you do a lot more elaborate pieces?
I mean, I just haven't.
Okay. Because
I would like to do like one thing that I've at least a thought that I've had is like we're in wine country and there's wineries and vineyards and breweries and stuff all over the place that have these really cool gates or like these really cool signs. And that's kind of like the style, is kind of like the rustic metal and wood type of stuff. So that's something wine
came in twice since you've been here. And I was like, what the fuck? That's why I was just going to offer some. I'm like, I guess something wants some wine. But when you say wine, so, okay. So you're saying wineries?
Yeah. Like wineries, breweries, vineyards, places like that have money. There's a vineyard nearby that just got this sign put up in front of their in their little driveway area. And I was like, that's the goal.
So, all right, a few things. First of all, your company and his company have nothing to do with each other. Nothing. Why are you wanting to be together? I mean, I went through this too, but like, why?
I don't really know.
I mean, like,
I guess like we started it, as like being partners in a business and we didn't really know exactly where we're going or what we're doing. We just knew we had to start a business. And I was, kind of dabbling with the signs and just making them for friends and family and stuff. And now I'm picking up a little bit on that, but like, I mean, with the signs I'm making right now, that's not really gonna, like, at least from what I can see, make us enough money to, like,
Yeah, you're still thinking money has to come through him because he's a big man. You need some, like, you're not capable by doing it yourself. Because I mean, I'm going to make $30 a sign or $100 a sign. How am I going to do it myself?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see how where that's coming from?
Yeah.
So burn that.
Okay.
So you want to be, now listen, when you step into your fucking power and you create a company and you're, making 6 figures by yourself, maybe the next phase is, y'all can create something together and you do something together because it just happens, but you don't need him. You don't need anything else other than what you already have to create a very successful business.
Okay.
So whatever you need to do to work on belief, So here's what needs to happen. You need to go ahead and get on TikTok and show yourself making the signs. Have you ever seen TikToks like that? Where it shows like making stuff?
Yeah.
Do that, just because you need to be in social, right? I love how you already have that one social page and, make sure you're hashtagging ironwork, signage, sign, custom signs, all this shit, winery signage, shit like that. So do the TikTok, set up the Etsy store, put what you already have. And then like how I think they have it like 1, 2, 3, 4, like custom, just have your samples. And then it's really customization. Like even the wallpaper I just bought is custom.
Yeah.
So, that's what Etsy I feel like is for. Like, it's for like little doodads, but also like custom work. I want a custom neon sign. You know what I'm saying? So let that be known. It's custom. You can use AI, and I'll probably get you a millionaire matrix.
Okay.
Because Stephanie Honey, I think's her name. She has a product, and everybody else is a coach and consultant. She's the only other one that has a product, but the way I'm sharing with her of how to like get out there, it's going to be very similar for you.
Okay.
TikTok, Insta, going crazy on it. Like you need to be you need to be in full, like every day, like, cause you're an artist. Okay. Every day you need to do something with these signs. You need to be making them. You got to just start making them. And then too, you could start channeling. So get into the channel. Why do you want to cry right now?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you even feel there's something there?
Yeah, I guess a little bit.
What is that?
Like we should be building a business together, So
it's like, I want it to be together kind of thing.
Yeah.
Ask her why. She doesn't want to be alone. There's something that, like, what is that? And I even drew the aloneness card before we started. So what is it about her that thinks that this is alone? I mean, I already know the answer.
I don't know, because it's always been alone.
So
I've always had to do it myself.
That. So really that has nothing to do with the business. Does that make sense? You being alone, having to do everything yourself, feeling like everything's on your back. That's nothing to do with business. Do you understand that? Yeah. So, and I was the same way. I mean, I don't know if people know this, but like everything I did, I dragged Skip in there with me. And it put us in a hell of situations. Like everything was, I needed him, like he needed to be doing this. He needed to be doing this so we could do I had to clear a lot of codependency, but really it was coming from that little girl who had to do everything on her own, but also needed everybody. She needed so much. She was so needy. She was waiting on somebody to come save her, waiting for somebody to come buy her a new bench, waiting for somebody to take out the dishes, waiting for somebody to clean the house, waiting for somebody to give her money, waiting for somebody to, she was just so needy. This little kid still waiting on everybody and anything and everybody to save her, and had so much resentment and all that until she realized that, wow, nobody's coming, and had to sit with lots of pain and suffering and depression and grief. Okay. And then found empowerment through that. Like, okay, no, if I was capable, like if you were capable of doing all this and building a multi 6-figure, 7-figure business by yourself, then what? And you guys would be happy as bug in a rug, Dolly and Carl, and you got your own business. He's got his, and you are so fucking happy, and you could be wildly successful. Like, then what? What if it was going to be easier than you ever imagined?
I don't even know. It's hard to even.
Right. You're asking like, well, how? Well, how?
Yeah.
How? Right. So really you need to process that little girl, lots of tears, lots of crying and feeling that fully, or this won't ever come to fruition. It's going to be painful. You'll get there, but it's going to be fucking painful. Or it's like the diets. Remember how you would run into the diet and like feel guilty and then stop and you just stop and then you got into the relationship and that was abusive. If you'll just stop right here and see the little girl, spend time with her, the one that felt like she had to do it all alone, just want somebody to do it with, you know what I mean? That lots of sadness there. So it means nothing.
But came up yesterday, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So just spend time there and just be really sad for her. Like just be really sad. Feel the depths of her despair. You know, allow yourself to go there for like, give her 2 weeks, give her 2 days, give her a while. And then when she picked herself up off the floor, she won't. You will. The adult Jeryn will show up because she's slowly emerging. The more empowered Jeryn's going to show up and she'll start showing up. And eventually you'll get to where you channel. It will get to a point where you wake up, you dreamed about this, you saw this thing in your dream or your meditation, and you just make the sign. And you're like, I don't know who it's for, but it's $3,000 or it's $300 or whatever. You going about your day, you're doing the next channel, and before you know it, somebody's crying. They're like, I can't tell you what that means. That's what my granddad did for me. And it's like, you're just some godsend. You're like, no, you're the channel. You make the artwork, right? So that's like future shit. And she likes to hear that. That totally made her feel better. Can you tell?
Yeah.
Okay. This is why I like psychics when I was coming, because if I could see the future, because I couldn't see it myself.
Yeah.
And that gave me a lot of solace. You know what I mean? It gave me a lot of confidence. And then finally I found it within myself. So
and also what I have keep coming up is like, either like I want to help him create his business as well.
That's just your old cycles of needing to make mommy and daddy and trying to just do everything outside yourself to make sure you're okay.
But that doesn't mean, well, I don't know. Like,
you just have to let it go. Like you're going to have to right now, as if I told you he's dead, he died, gone, not here. Like imagine he died, taken from you, and feel that. If you really want to grow fast, right? And all the fighting and like, no, okay, go for it. Go try to make him what you need him to be so you can be happy and have at it. You'll be on a 10-year fucking path, probably turn into your mom. It'll be a nightmare. Your choice. You do have a choice this time. And every time you want that, you want this thing, go clear infatuation and you'll find sadness. The sad little girl. You just, it's depression, it's grief, it's loss. But then you'll realize like, wow, nothing was ever lost or whatever. I just I needed to let this out, and then needed my big self to show up and be like, no, everything's going to be okay. You're successful. And then all of a sudden, if that's what you really want, you want him to be in the business, or you want him to whatever, you want him to be whatever he needs to be for you to whatever, all that's going to go away. The very thing that wants that is the thing that needs to and gets to die. So you can have your queendom. Does that make sense? Yeah. You becoming the queen of your queendom allows him to step into his kingdom. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. This is what Amar teaches too. When I was starting out, I would cry and I would just be like, I want Skip home with me. He was never home. I was like, I kind of lived like a single mom that he was on, what's it called? Like second or third shift or whatever. Cause he'd leave at like 3, sometimes 1 if he wanted to go work out. So he'd leave at like 1 o'clock. And he wouldn't get home till 10:30 because his last lesson would be 9 or 9:30 because he'd be a high school kid or like a college kid, or whatever. And so there I was, got a little bit of the morning, but when we had kids, like I had nothing. It was all on me. I did everything, right? Plus the business, plus all this stuff. And then nannies would have to help me. Then I wasn't with my kids because I'm having to, you know what I'm saying? And I remember like really wanting him around, and he'd always be with his clients. I felt like his clients were taking him away, all this shit. And I was like, I want him, I want him here with me. I want him But he also wanted out of baseball. That's the thing. So if it's where your fiance is really wanting out of his job, okay, well then go make some money. Free your man by you stepping up into your fucking higher self. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So really, it's like, it's not all on you. It's not like that, even though you feel like, no, it's more of it's a really empowered position. It's like that sign I used to have that says, but mom, I am a rich man. You are everything. You are the rich man, the rich daddy. You are the daddy. You are the mommy. You are everything. You are God. You are the creator. You are literally everything. So go create. All right. What is it that you really want from him? And what would it be?
Yeah. Like he would be the successful one, and I'm just in the background helping him with the business, and we're just making money. I don't know.
Yeah, I wanted it like that too. I was like, I cried and felt so done wrong, and felt like I got the shit into the stick, and how come everybody else has it easier? And why can't I just have a man that's solid, that has plenty of money, and I don't have to worry about it, and I can just enjoy life? I was looking for somebody else to make me happy. I was looking for, if you'll just turn into this money man, I could be happy. Codependent as fuck. It's toxic as fuck. Literally. It's like your mom. You try to control everything outside of you so that you feel okay.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I love that you're aware. And there's parts of you that's not really ready to hear that. That's okay. She gonna die. You'll gladly let her go. And you'll probably have to go through Macarios, where you have to learn how to let parts of you go, because it is sad. It's a death. You don't need her anymore. We honor her. It's just like a funeral. You honor her. She's trying, man. She's in pain. She did the best she could. You know what I'm saying? So you have to go through that. There's some womb activation going on right now as you're doing that. It's awesome. And then you'll get to a point where you'll just start finding more and more of yourself, your true self. And before you know it, you are happy. You don't need it. You're just happy, man. You're in your flow. You got your art, and you got everything you need. And you look over at him, and he is like living his best life. And you don't need him to be anything other than what he is. And that's the problem, men and women. Women, especially, they need a man to be something. They need everything outside themselves to be something. Well, if you'll just do this, if you'll just do that, I'll be happy. And then a lot of women look at men for money. I mean, looking at my boys too, it's like, and I posted this in the free group. I'm like, women, make money. Step into your power. It frees our men, because they're sitting there thinking they got all this stress on them, because they feel responsible for our happiness.
Yeah.
They feel like they got to go make the money. They're just like we are. Just because they have a dick does not mean they got to take care of us. Look how much pressure we're putting on them.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Yeah. He's really stressed out.
It's because we put pressure on them. You don't mean to, but you're gonna say you're fucking sorry, right?
Yeah.
To them, you're gonna fucking look at them. You're gonna cry, and you're gonna be like, "I'm so sorry. I've been needing you to be all this stuff, so I feel okay. I needed you to go make money so I could just play, because I never got to be a fucking kid."
Yeah.
So you're doing a mixture of inner child work, death of ego, finding out who you are. You'll feel a little fucking off for a minute,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not going to be anything like where you've been. And you got all the tools, you've got all the tools. So you're safe, you know what I'm saying? And as long as you're really open and vulnerable with him, and you go through this work, like you're learning a new way of being. And then when you learn this new way, then you'll go into another thing like, well, I learned, okay, well, that doesn't serve me anymore, but that's what's going on right now. So the business is every day your practice needs to be, taking care of yourself, eating well, sleeping well, the basics.
Mm-hmm.
Eat, sleep well, move your fucking body.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And go into your art, you need to be making more signs and then like showcasing that of you making the art and it's just your art, right? So you making all this, posting it, putting it out there. I mean, it's your artwork. Okay. Just like my podcast is an art. It's all that stuff, or the courses. And you open up your Etsy shop. Okay. Because energetically, and listen, you may run into things like there could be things where you're going to get an angry client. You're going to get this or that, or maybe not. I don't know. It could be whatever, but just like it's all moving. You're going to move in the direction of where you want to go. Anything that comes up is the way. Anything that comes up, you want to be like, thank you. I can now easily clear that instead of needing to fix a bunch of shit and you don't know what you're fixing. Just keep going. Okay. So you got Etsy, TikTok, you're waking up, you're doing your artwork, you're addressing your emotions. Like I said, a lot of inner child work.
Yeah.
Codependency is a big one. Give yourself like at least 6 months to work through the constructs of codependency. There's a book I'll send you with.
Okay.
That'll help. And your biggest thing for him would be to just really like cry, show your emotions in front, tell him, say, you're off the hook, dude. Like, say you're sorry, and anything that y'all go through, reflect on, you know what I'm saying? Use the group if you need extra support, like, hey, here's what's going on. Cause you're going to be vulnerable. You're going to be, you're going to need some validation during this time because you're doing inner child work, and our inner child needs some validation.
Okay.
So don't judge yourself for that. That's pretty much it for now. Your YouTube channel, I mean, you can you can multi-use the content. You know what I'm saying? You could, whatever you film for TikTok could be a YouTube video / short. And then you can get into like, this is where the big money comes in. Once you get in, I mean, big money can come into you putting your shit in. This is what I'm showing Stephanie, like, Shark Tank. You need to almost learn your business where you could pitch that well. You need to learn sales, just that kind of shit. And then you can pitch to companies. You network, you make things, and you're the person. You're the artist. Like, I want Jeryn. No, Jeryn. What's your last name?
Bridges.
That's right. Where it's like a Jeryn Bridges. It's like you're just the artist. It's like, well, this is Jeryn Bridges' work. No, we work with the artist Jeryn Bridges. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of Rachel's. She's an artist. That's how I know. Like, I'm thinking of all this stuff. And then Laguna is like an art capital. Everything. And then you can get into the thing where you'll have people will pay you, for, I mean, what other elaborate shit can you do? Big money.
Yeah.
Thousands of dollars in metal fab and making the shit. You know what I'm saying? Or you could make shit ton of money because you're in fuck tons of stores. Maybe you got to deal with a store broker that puts you in fucking Kirkland's. You see what I'm saying? Think big. Think really, really big. But it starts with you becoming this artist. You are already her. But right now, little Jeryn, she's really trying to fuck some shit up. And it's okay. We need her to know she's okay. We see her. We feel her. We're going to help her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But think really big, like where you are pitching brokers and you're working with store brokers and you're in place. Like, you see, anything's possible. You literally can create whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter if you make fucking crocheted worms. Seriously. So that's the dream. And you need to be doing fire ceremony. Spend a lot of time with fire. When you wake up or whenever at nighttime, you're letting go of things, you burn it. What are you thankful for? What do you want to call in? Right. And also you can, once you step into the ways, okay, this is where when women come into their higher whatever, this is where you can create amazing things for him, where you're like, you're sending, I don't know, you just getting your work and you're creating big contracts for him, big ideas where he comes in and like, but you're not doing it so you don't have to, whatever. You're not doing it selfishly. You're just like, you just know how much space you're holding for income and a lifestyle, and it could come through either one, but you're just going to keep showing up with your art, trusting, because it can happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but women can manifest so many things through their spouses, but you could also do it through you. So just be open for anything and everything, but it's got to start though with you going in on you, not, I need you to be this so I can do this,
Yeah.
So TikTok, Etsy, custom, and you got a great personality. I think you're going to be great at selling and going to these big wineries, but you need to also don't be afraid to do things, a couple of things for like, how do I word it? Like your first couple of things. So, hey man, I see this. Is there anything that's significant to you? I'd like to make you donate something here, donate. And then, just little things like that. But I wouldn't spend any more of your time at doing the vendor booths and shit.
I know.
I wouldn't do that. That's old school.
Yeah.
Instead, TikTok, Insta, YouTube, have your Shopify. And then also what you can do is, let's say you get into making them and you know that your niche market is wineries, ranch owners, and salon owners, or people that like rustic, whatever. Now you got a little Etsy, Shopify site. Now you can run some ads. Now you can do advertising and you can sell like what we do. You spend, you invest $5,000 a month. You got a media buyer and your Shopify store is doing $30,000 a month. And you're on Amazon. Put your shit on Amazon. I told Stephanie, create it on Amazon. You know what I'm saying? Put your shit on Amazon for sale.
Okay.
Yeah. You see how big we can get, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the biz. But your only thing is, that's why I think you'll do well in Millionaire Matrix, is because, we get in our fucking heads, but really it's, you think of yourself as an artist, because you are. And your only thing is to be in flow state, because when you're in flow state, then you can open up channel and you're going to be like, the fuck, a rainbow and a cigarette? Okay. And you make a sign with a rainbow cigarette. Next thing you know, you put it everywhere. Somebody's like, how did you know? This is exactly, this is it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the reason I said the metal thing, just because, I don't know. It's as clueless. I'm ignorant to all this stuff too. But like, let's say wood, like Rachel had these things where, she would paint. I don't know what she calls it. Shit, I know I'm probably like murdering what she does, but it was these pieces of bark, huge pieces of bark. And she did this resin work on one side of it and did this really cool picture. It was just the coolest thing, but it was made from real bark. And she sold it. And the reason, and she only had like 5 pieces or so much, because she only had so much of the bark, but it was from like Yosemite. It was from an actual tree and the thing. And that's what made it special.
Yeah. I have actually, like, when I go to the ocean and stuff, I collect driftwood and make art with it too.
Have you been down here in Laguna? that shit's for sale, like big money,
know?
So, but it's all about you. It's an energy. It's just like me with what I sell. We can promote, but it's the energy. It's a feeling. People buy art because of the way it makes them feel.
I think that's something that I've been kind of stuck on is, I'm waiting for somebody or for customers to come to me to ask me to make them something, so that I have an idea. I'm not out in the shop every day making something just because I feel like I want to be making something and then sell it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, start being the artist. Tap in, start making it. And that's your whole, from what I've said, since you've been here, that's been your theme. I'm going to wait until, until somebody does this. And then you even in medicine, you're speaking up, right? Hey, is this da-da-da? And then you felt good.
Yeah.
It's like you were still waiting on everything outside of you to do da-da for you to take action. Take action now. Yep. Yep. And then, hey, you'll see really quickly, once you start taking action, you start doing the thing, you'll run into some resistance and you're like, oh, got to get back into alignment. Whereas what feels good to me? If I could redo it, what would I do? And I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Does that answer everything?
I think so. I mean,
awesome. I can't read any of my writing really. Repeat back 3 things that you're all right. Here's what needs to happen.
Okay.
What is it? What do you understand?
Oh. Well, inner child work.
From what kind of, like, tell me more about that.
For the child that's alone and waiting for somebody to come and save her or help her or be with her or do the things for her. Codependency. I guess it's kind of the same thing, waiting for somebody else to come save me or do something for me to make me feel happier, better.
Very normal.
Yeah. And then the doing part of it would be the Etsy, creating art every day.
Something. Doesn't have to be a full sign.
Yeah.
It could be a drafting on a fucking napkin.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And some days it may not come through, but you're still showing up. You're working on your store, your site. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, this is where the big money comes in. So let's say you do this, and let's just say you turned into being one of the number one sellers to all Kirklands. I don't know. You know what I mean? Just whatever. That's huge money. But also, if you wanted some more money, let's say you created a successful Etsy shop with custom signs. For example, you could create a course, okay, a 3-module course of how to sell custom signs on Etsy and make $10,000 a month, or how to make your first $5,000 a month with custom signs on Etsy. And there's your course. First, you got to do this. And then when you do it, you teach them how it's done. There's your coursework. You can literally make money while you sleep. Okay. And then you could even sell, hey, if they want to work with you one-on-one for their custom business, now they're paying you 10 grand just to come sit with you on a weekend so you can help them with their business. Do you see what I'm saying? The fucking possibilities are endless. It's creativity. But you can't get there if you're not free. Codependency keeps you down. Inner child shit keep you locked up because our inner child's running the show. I mean, most people you see out there running around, still that little kid's running their show. They're still trying to like avoid rejection, not be ashamed. They don't want to disappoint someone. They're running the simulation, being a mommy, being the good girl, going to get the MBA. So they running their little fucking jobs. You know, they're not happy. They're not free. Freedom, creativity comes when you just kind of allow yourself to open, like, fuck this, fuck that. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I want to give the world. Here's what I'm going to, whatever. And then a great book for any artists is, or writers or any creators, The War of Art. Fucking great. But it's an easy read too. But at the end of the book, it's like the best. And it says something like, show up, or something is, you know, it's almost like the world's waiting on your art. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it. Something that you're going to make is going to mean a lot to somebody. Like, can you imagine if I didn't step into what I do? I mean, sure, maybe you'd find what you're looking for in this life. But what if you didn't, because I didn't do my thing? You got to look at your art like that. Have to. Then there's this like, oh, fuck, I better show up and sit the fuck down. You know what I mean? Because that's making a difference. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on, I mean, it's kind of old school, but like do I go to these places, like, you know, boots on the ground, like with cards and like all these vineyards and stuff, and be like, hey, this is what I do? Or I think, is that too much doing?
Yeah, I think if it were me, I would go into meditation and just start like, what feels good right now? What is it that would make me happy before I went to bed tonight? You know? And then if doing that, fine, how'd it feel? Well, it felt like shit. Okay, well, then what feels better? Well, if it just had happened this way, all right, we'll do that. You know, for me, here's kind of how things work once you get into flow. It's like flow is kind of, fuck, I'm late for this appointment today. And you're like, you know what? I'm just going to breathe and get there when I get there and pay for the late fee or whatever. And as you do that, you realize you forgot something else. And now you got to go to the grocery store and go in there. Next thing you know, you're in there, but you're talking to somebody in the grocery store and they own a vineyard. And you're like, wow, I actually do signs for vineyards. And they're like, no shit. So give me your information. Yep. They reach out to you and you get a deal. But you see how it came through like that shit? Yeah. That's typically how my stuff works out. Like when we got that house, the little one that burned up, but when we found it, there was nothing available. When I say nothing, it was after, remember COVID? Everybody was moving to Florida. Like there was nothing left. I'm telling you. And if it was anything left, it was like $8,000 a month for a fucking pile of shit. And I'm like, what is going on? And I was like, no, I went in to do what I do, you know? And one thing led to the next. We end up going to some fucking air show. I don't even like air shows. Okay. Went to some air show. And Waylon had even gotten into Skip's THC chocolate on the way up there. He fucking I thought he was dying. He was like, had gotten into the shit. I mean, like horrible morning, you know. Get to the air show. It's hot as fuck. We're just going to the thing. We're trying to enjoy it, but we're in Tampa and making the most of it. I remember thinking like, wow, it was just showing me like another option of living, like I do want this or I don't want that. And at that time I was always on Zillow. I mean, anywhere I went, I was just always on Zillow.
Mm-hmm.
And I pull up Zillow and I was like, oh my God, here's a spot. And this house looks so cute. And it's on a key. Where is this? I never even heard of the city. I'm like, dude, it's right there on the Skyway Bridge. Like, how do we not know about it? We start looking. I was like, why didn't we know about this? And we went to look. Oh my God, this is like perfect. It's got a pool. It's on a key. It's by this beach. Like, what the fuck, dude? And we ended up getting it like that. I mean, we thought it was a scam because it was so perfect, right? But it was because like one thing led to the next, and I got to go to this fucking air show, and all this stuff happened. But I found the house that way, So it's kind of like that's feminine flow, though. You even said it today, like I kind of just seems like I'm not in a rush, but it's like when you get into that feminine flow, it's like, no, you don't need to do anything. How would you feel right now if all the things that you wanted were already done? How would that feel? Like, how would it feel if you already had 2 venters that had 2 signs, like you were going to make $3,000 for each sign, and it was a commission, and you had to get it done by August 15th? Like, how would that feel right now?
I'd be like elated. I would just be really excited.
Start expecting that. Don't even be like, I'm so excited, because the opposite of excitement is depression. Right? Which, like, I want you to feel joy, but also just look at it as an expectation and feel that. You'd feel excited. Okay, so you'd feel just joyful. And out of that joy, what do you need to do today? Do you need to go pitch venters on your boots on the ground? Or do you need to go outside? Or do you need to just write and draw? Like, really? Only you know that.
Yeah.
So you go, if I already had that, if all this was already happening, what would that feel like in my body? And what would I do? And you do that. Because that's your highest self. That's the one that already has the things, and you're just working backwards. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if I was already making the 400, 500K months, what would I do? I'd be doing probably this right here, right now. Because I love talking on camera. I like podcasting and being with people that's like actually fucking aware and wanting to make a change. You know what I mean? And then I'd probably play with my kids. I'd play with my kids. And also, if I had 400K, I would not be doing any live containers. And if I did, it would be just one of them, maybe, because it's probably going to come through. You know what I mean? It's going to just keep coming through. I'd probably do one of those. I would be charging differently for VIP, which I'm already doing that. You already know that. So I'm really kind of already living as if that's there.
Right.
Yeah, and that's how I've been doing things.
Right.
Because doesn't make sense. Good news is we don't have to make sense. Great news. And yeah. And when you feel fucking crazy and scared, and you're not like, oh, well, this is the next level, but it doesn't have to be that way. I realized that I was chasing pressure because of a lot of shit, but yeah, just what would your future self do, and how would she feel if she already had XYZ? What do you need to do today if you already had that? And then I would go walk by the river. Boom. Now you're going to walk by the river, and guess what's going to come through? This next idea that's going to bring you in the client you want. Because what you want wants you. You just, the resistance goes away, and then there it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. This was so good. Like people would want to see this. We may need to share it.